But it's all very true. Now, in order to understand some of the dynamics, let's talk about energy. I'll go back to the basics and I'll need the writing board. And I'll keep going back to the basics until you finally get that, aha, I get it. Adamus, why didn't you tell us about this 3 years ago? Go back and read the shouts. Go back and read the shouts. So some of the basics of energy. First of all, you are consciousness. Understand that. You are consciousness. It's the I am. I exist. That's consciousness. It's the first awareness. You are consciousness. We'll just put a dot there. Consciousness. I exist. Consciousness continues to, you could say, unfold. It continues to become. It's not static. It doesn't just stay in its current level of consciousness. To say that it grows isn't quite right, or to expand. It continues to become more conscious. So we put a circle around that, the circumpunt, the symbol for consciousness, the I am. Very simple. You could say also it started with the spark of spirit. You're going to discover sooner or later that that wasn't actually true, but we'll use it. We'll pretend for right now that it was. Hopefully confuse a few of you about that. So, this is the I am. As I said before, it doesn't exist anywhere. It doesn't have a place in outer space of its own. Doesn't need it. It does not exist within time. Doesn't need it. It is totally on its own. It is not energy. This is one of perhaps the greatest illusions, fallacies, or mistruths that humans believe, and even religions, even New Age does not understand that consciousness does not contain energy. Because, first of all, if you thought that it did, and particularly in the way most people think about energy, suddenly you become victim to energy, and consciousness is corruptible in that scenario. But it's not true. Consciousness contains no energy, does not exist in any particular time or space. It is yours, solely yours. Very simple concept, but yet often I talk to groups about this, and they go out the door 5 minutes later, forgetting it, forgetting the purity of the I am. So, consciousness, no energy. Energy exists outside of consciousness, and it does exist in all sorts of dimensions. Any dimension that consciousness ever visited or imagined. Energy exists everywhere that the consciousness ever felt into or imagined into. Suddenly energy is there. Energy was created, let's call it breathed in. Energy was breathed in by the passion of consciousness. The passion of consciousness is the feeling, and I'm using slightly very human words here, but the passion of consciousness is having the sensory experience of feeling its existence. That's the passion of consciousness. Feeling that sensory, that experiential, hey, I exist. That's the passion right there. That passion of its existence, to know its existence and to feel it, created energy. Energy outside of itself. But you could actually say that, some would say that there was the passion of going home. I've actually said it myself before. Partly true, but where is home? Humans like to think of home as being heaven, God, oneness, all that was, all the rest of that crap. It's not. True home, and I'll use this as an opportunity to promote the latest book from Tobias, Journey Home. The true journey home is not back to some celestial palace. True journey home. Right there. That's all there is to it. You don't go back to the oneness. You are the oneness. You go back to awareness.